What causes exotic magnetic effects? All right, that is the question for number 96 on the list of the 144 fractal faculties of the Tree of Life. Um, if you'd like to get a full listing of all of those 144 fractal faculties, just click the link in the description. I will send it out to you for free for your perusal, and you can just go through it, compare and contrast. It's particularly effective for the first, say, 84 of the fractals. The last 60 are subject to some kind of change, and there has been a couple of changes in the first 84. But the first 84, you can really study those up and get a grasp of each one of the spheres through that. You can also get a better grasp of all these videos if you watch my video called Tree of Life, an Introduction. That will get you up to speed. Just a 10-minute video, just give you the basics on the Tree of Life so that you can follow along better on these videos. Now, today we're looking at number 96. Here's your Tree of Life. And this is basically a map of our consciousness. And each one of the circles or spheres here on the diagram represents an aspect of our consciousness, or a faculty of our consciousness, an ability of our consciousness, or even a parameter of our consciousness. And there are 10 circles that are numbered 1 through 10, plus there is an abyss here, and then there is a 0 above the tree. So a total of 12 different faculties of consciousness. Now, for today, for number 96, we find ourselves inside the abyss. Okay, so the abyss is one of our 12 faculties of consciousness. This corresponds to really our psychic powers. And, normally you might think of psychic powers as being more like telekinesis and spoon bending and clairvoyance and clairaudience. But here on the tree, it really corresponds to magnetic effects, in particular magnetic charges, which are known in the real world as omens. So an omen is a magnetic charge. Then when we step into the field of that magnetic charge, we feel that omen. And the omen is something that is very anomalous, something that's going against probability principles, where it's very, very unlikely occurrence. And we notice it when we say, wow, that was really weird, when it's a recurring name or number, where it's a deja vu or a synchronicity or an uncanniness or just anomalous occurrence. And there we have really two options. We can either kind of notice what happens, but like dismiss it and say, oh, wow, that was really weird, and get back to our business. Or we can say, that was really weird. That's an important communication from the higher self or from the universe that's telling me that I need to pay attention to this, and then to pay attention further. That is what's called psychic receptivity, to be able to notice the omen and to notice its importance and tune into that. So that's the first half of the psychic powers, is psychic heat. And then following that is, or psychic receptivity, sorry. And then following that is the psychic heat, which is the courage that you need in order to actually follow up on that omen. Because when you do pay attention to the omen, you will find out that the omen will give you a course of action to take. And to actually take that action many times will cause you to put yourself out there, to expose your vulnerability, to, step into the unknown. And that requires courage. So that's the second part, is the psychic heat, psychic receptivity and psychic heat. So that is really what is going on with the abyss. And then, which is one of our 12 faculties of the Tree of Life, our psychic powers. But to get from 12 to 144, what we're basically doing is we're taking the Tree of Life to the second power. So what we're doing is we're taking the whole tree, all 12 aspects of the tree, and we are shrinking it down and applying it to each one of the 12 aspects of the tree. So it's a fractal. So we have the 10th sphere here. Within the 10th sphere, we superimpose a whole tree. So we break down this 10th sphere into its 12 faculties. We break down the 9th sphere into its 12 faculties, and so on. And in this case, we're breaking down the abyss into its 12 faculties. So there's a mini 10th sphere inside the abyss, and a mini 9th sphere, and a mini 8th sphere, and so on inside the abyss. And for number 96 in particular, we're looking at a mini 0 sphere inside the abyss. Okay, so the 0 sphere above the tree, what does that correspond to? The 0 sphere is nothingness. It is zero. It is really the part of the universe that the Creator reserves for itself, meaning that the 0 sphere is not in the universe, but it is part of the Creator. So we cannot directly perceive the 0 sphere. It is something that is outside of our ability to perceive, but we can perceive it indirectly, and we can. It's part of the Creator. So it is. It's really kind of like the Creator's or the higher self's private life that we don't have any direct understanding of. The only way that we can kind of glean anything is by getting as quiet as possible and being able to tune in. It has to do with also with inner peace, which is really like the ability to feel peace because you recognize that everything is under the control of the Creator. And so you just kind of surrender to that. Okay, so those are some of the basic aspects of the 0 sphere. It's what it's what is really outside of the universe that we don't have access to. It preceded the universe, and it will go on after the universe. But there's no time in this realm, so that's not really correct. But that's it's just kind of how I'm explaining it. Not doing a great job there, but we'll talk much more about the 0 sphere as we move on here. But for the purposes of what we're talking about here, it's really like a dichotomy with the 0 sphere, or with the first sphere. The first sphere is everything in the universe, and the 0 sphere is nothing and nothingness. Okay, now we put those aspects together to get number 96, which is called antiferromagnetism or co-magnetism. Stage number 96 is about the perfect opposition to ferromagnetism. North attracts north, and south attracts south. Charges shoot out from each end rather than looping around north to south. Antiferromagnetism. Ferromagnetism and antiferromagnetism are 180 degrees out of phase with each other. So antiferromagnetism cannot coexist with ferromagnetism. The lines of force shoot outward like spokes on a bicycle wheel, rather than looping around and connecting with the opposite charge. Antiferromagnetism originates from charged electron neutrinos, which in the reciprocal system is notated as 1/2, 1/2, -1. And then that whole neutrino is charged by a photon. It is across the speed of light boundary, the intermediate speed version of ferromagnetism. In the reciprocal system, the speed of light is not the maximum speed of the universe. It is the boundary, the midpoint of the universe, where half the universe is going faster than the speed of light and half is going slower than the speed of light. Some of the exotic effects of antiferromagnetic charges are inexplicable episodes of kitchenware flying, doors slamming, flickering lights, cars stalling, and ball lightning. Things usually attributed to ghosts, poltergeists, and other occult forces. Ball lightning, for example, results from superconductive current, and that superconductive pair can also take a charge, which makes a form of radiant energy. Radiant energy is electric motion in the region inside 1 unit of time, the space region, at low inverse temperatures. So the opposite or the inverse of superconductivity. Antiferromagnetism results from Cooper pairing, where the pairing of electrons is non-local, meaning that the connection is adjacent in time, not space. This is similar to the concept of telepathy. While the ferromagnetic charge corresponds to the omen, the synchronicity, an anomaly, inducing a reaction from us, the antiferromagnetic charge is a false omen, a paranoia, a bad omen, a honeypot trap, and a mistaken identity. In both cases, the fulfillment of our psychic powers, our psi, PSI, too, are alluring, but are ultimately a diversion. The relationship between ferromagnetism and antiferromagnetism is analogous to paramagnetism and diamagnetism, 180 degrees out of phase from one another. Okay, that is what I have here for number 96, the zero fractal of the abyss. And that is number 96. I said that. Okay. All right. Well, that is it for today. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Again, you can click the link in the description if you'd like to get my free list of all 144 fractal faculties, annotated, a little abstract of each one, just a couple sentences on each one. Again, that's really effective for especially the first 7 spheres down to the 4th sphere, the first 84 fractals. You stay tuned for future videos on this channel in this series. Number 96 will be number 97 will be rolling out very, very soon. And you also will hopefully be getting some other videos on other topics coming up soon too. So great things coming up on this channel. Also, if you'd like to donate to the research, to future research, just my Cash App and Venmo are listed in the description, and I would be very grateful for that. And otherwise, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.